if you're a die-hard Browns fan and love breaking down the game like we do. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a blitz. Alright folks, let's dive into the latest drama brewing around Myles Garrett, the Cleveland Browns star defensive end. Coming off that massive $160 million contract extension, everyone expected Garrett to step up not just in play, but as a leader. Owner Jimmy Haslam had already laid down the gauntlet, emphasizing that with great money comes great responsibility, especially leadership. Garrett, after all, is the Browns' biggest name, the guy everyone looks up to on defense. But here's the kicker. Garrett skipped the very first day of organized team activities, OTAs, which is usually the start of building team chemistry. Instead of being on the field with his teammates, Garrett was spotted thousands of miles away in Japan, attending the Crunchyroll Anime Awards with rumored girlfriend Chloe Kim. That move instantly sparked backlash from fans who were not happy to see their star player seemingly choosing a vacation over team commitments. Now, this isn't just a minor slip-up. The Browns have been desperate for leadership, especially since Garrett publicly expressed frustration with the team before signing the extension. He had asked for a trade, wanting to join a winning culture, but eventually decided to stay, signing that monster contract. With that kind of money on the table, the expectation was clear. Garrett needed to be a pillar of strength and leadership for the Browns, a franchise still searching for consistent success. When he said, "I'll plan to be the best person possible in this locker room, be the best leader possible, as well as dominating on Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays," fans bought into that vision. But his absence at OTAs undercuts that message and has many questioning his true commitment. Adding fuel to the fire, one of Garrett's teammates, Ogbo Okoronkwo, stirred the pot by liking a social media post criticizing Garrett for missing OTAs and questioning his leadership. That's a pretty big deal in a locker room environment. When a teammate's subtle social media actions call out the star player, it shows tension brewing beneath the surface. Browns fans quickly caught wind of this and took to Twitter and Instagram to vent their frustration. Comments ranged from disbelief to outright anger, with some fans mocking Garrett's leadership and others lamenting the team's struggles. LOL, coming off a 3-14 season, that man isn't a leader at all, one fan wrote. It's clear that the optics of Garrett's Japan trip while the team was grinding in Ohio didn't sit well. Social media reactions were brutal and varied. Many Browns supporters felt Garrett's actions betrayed the commitment he promised. "I thought he said he was going to be more of a leader," another fan pointed out, highlighting the disconnect between words and actions. Some even compared him unfavorably to Nick Chubb, the Browns star running back, who was beloved for his work ethic and team-first mentality. This guy will never be a Nick Chubb in Browns fans' eyes, and rightfully so, a comment read. This kind of fan backlash isn't just about missing OTAs. It's about perceived dedication and respect for the team culture, something the Browns desperately need if they want to turn things around. But here's where things get a bit more nuanced. OTAs are voluntary, and star players missing these sessions is hardly uncommon across the NFL. The league tends to tailor these off-season workouts more for rookies and younger players trying to prove themselves, not for established stars locked into starting roles. Garrett, being the Browns' unquestioned edge rusher, doesn't exactly have much to prove to the coaching staff, so technically his absence doesn't break any rules or contracts. However, when you're trying to set a new tone as a leader, every little action matters. Being present, even just to show support, can make a big difference in locker room dynamics and team morale. It's also important to consider Garrett's own words and intentions. He openly declared a desire to elevate his leadership role after signing that huge extension. Leadership in the NFL isn't just about what you do on Sundays. It's about what you represent during every practice, every meeting, and every team event. Skipping the first day of OTAs while jet-setting to Japan doesn't send the message of accountability or dedication. The Browns, coming off a dismal 3-14 season, desperately need leaders who lead by example, especially on and off the field. Garrett's decision undermines that narrative, even if it's just a single day missed. Moreover, the Browns don't have a fully settled quarterback situation, which places even more pressure on leaders like Garrett to stabilize the locker room and build confidence. His presence could have helped ease tensions and unify the group early in the offseason. even if Garrett wasn't physically participating in every drill. Just showing up and offering guidance would have been a significant boost. As a veteran and a star, his leadership role extends beyond stats and highlights. It's about mentorship and setting a tone for the younger players. His absence left a leadership vacuum that's hard to ignore. The criticism from teammate Ogbo Okoronkwo suggests there's internal disappointment as well. Okoronkwo liked a post that questioned Garrett's leadership, signaling he expected more from the team's face. That kind of public nonverbal communication hints at locker room friction that could have ripple effects as the season approaches. Younger guys like Mason Graham and Carson Schweizinger might have benefited from Garrett's mentorship during these early off-season sessions. Guidance on defensive drills and professional habits early on can accelerate their growth, and Garrett missing these chances is a missed opportunity for both the player and the team. So the question remains, will Garrett's absence during OTAs affect the Browns' season? On paper, probably not drastically. Star players missing voluntary OTAs is common, but in a team culture still in flux, optics and leadership symbolism matter more than ever. Garrett's decision to jet off to Japan at this critical time, especially when the Browns are desperate for a new winning identity, only fuels fan frustration and doubts about his commitment. The Browns are hoping he can back up his massive contract with on-field dominance and locker room leadership. But right now that narrative is on shaky ground. In conclusion, Myles Garrett's Japan trip during the Browns' OTA period has stirred a pot of fan backlash and internal team questions. As the Browns rebuild, leadership is their most precious commodity, and Garrett's actions seem to clash with the expectations placed on him. Whether this is a one-time misstep or the start of a trend remains to be seen, but one thing is clear. If Garrett truly wants to be the leader he promised, he'll need to show more presence, accountability, and dedication moving forward. The Browns and their fans are watching, and they won't forget how the team's biggest star handles these leadership moments, on and off the field. Enjoying the content so far? Smash that like button and drop your take in the comments. We want to hear what you think about the Browns this season. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready because the NFL rumor mill is absolutely on fire this week. And this time, it's not just any rumor, it's one that could shake the very foundations of the league as we know it. Multiple sources close to the situation are whispering about an alleged secret meeting between none other than Patrick Mahomes and the Cleveland Browns. Yes, you heard that right. Mahomes, the face of the Kansas City Chiefs, possibly entertaining talks with another franchise. And not just any franchise, the Browns, a team with big aspirations and the financial muscle to make something massive happen. Could this really be happening? Could Mahomes be considering a future away from Kansas City? The possibility alone is enough to send shockwaves through every fan base in the NFL. Now, what really set this rumor ablaze is the mention of an astronomical number being thrown around, $300 million. That's right, sources close to the Browns front office are allegedly discussing what it would take to lure Mahomes away, and the figure being tossed out is mind-blowing. We're talking about a deal that would not only reset the quarterback market, but also redefine how franchises approach superstar contracts. If there's one team desperate enough to go all in, it's Cleveland. They've been hunting for that elite quarterback talent for decades, and imagine pairing Mahomes with their current roster, packed with offensive weapons and a solid defensive core. The fit, at least on paper, looks intriguing, but is Mahomes really interested? That's the $1 million, or should I say $300 million question. Let's take a step back and analyze why this rumor even makes sense in the first place. The Chiefs, despite all their recent success, are facing significant cap space challenges. Mahomes already has a massive deal in place, but restructuring talks have been circulating for months. Some insiders suggest that Mahomes might be frustrated with the Chiefs' ability to consistently surround him with the right pieces, especially as key players depart or age out. Meanwhile, the Browns are in a unique position with both draft capital and salary cap flexibility. If there were ever a time for Cleveland to make a power move, this offseason could be it. The timing is interesting, and when the timing aligns with financial capability, well, that's when the most shocking moves happen in the NFL. Adding, Fuel to the fire, eyewitnesses claim that Mahomes was spotted in Ohio last weekend under unusual circumstances. Several fans posted blurry photos on social media of someone who appeared to be Mahomes at a high-end Cleveland hotel. Some say he was seen entering a private dining room with Browns executives late at night, flanked by security guards. Of course, this could all be coincidental. Mahomes has business ventures and personal reasons that could explain a visit to Ohio. But with all these whispers about a $300 million offer, it's hard not to connect the dots. The NFL offseason has always been a playground for speculation, but this one is different. This is Patrick Mahomes we're talking about. The Golden Boy, the MVP, the Super Bowl champion. Let's not forget that the Browns have a history of making bold, sometimes controversial moves in pursuit of quarterback stability. From big trades to risky draft picks, Cleveland has never shied away from swinging for the fences. But bringing in Mahomes would be on an entirely different level. This would be the kind of acquisition that changes a franchise's trajectory for the next decade. Imagine Mahomes running the Browns offense, working with elite receivers, handing off to a strong backfield, and playing behind one of the league's best offensive lines. It's a scenario that would immediately elevate Cleveland from playoff hopefuls to legitimate Super Bowl contenders. And let's be honest, the idea of Mahomes in a different uniform is as shocking as it is fascinating. Now, from Mahomes' perspective, what would even motivate such a move? Some analysts speculate that it's about legacy. Mahomes has already won big in Kansas City, and maybe he's looking for a new challenge, a fresh start with a team that's hungry for glory. Others point to the potential business opportunities. Becoming the face of a franchise that's been desperate for a hero could solidify his brand in ways that even Kansas City can. And then, of course, there's the money. A $300 million contract would not only set a new precedent in professional sports, but also give Mahomes generational wealth on a scale that few athletes have ever touched. For someone as competitive and savvy as Mahomes, all of these factors could be impossible to ignore. But hold on, Chiefs fans, it's not time to panic just yet. Officially, Mahomes is still under contract, and there's been no formal announcement of any trade talks or negotiations. The Chiefs front office has also remained tight-lipped, refusing to comment on any of the circulating rumors. This could all be smoke without fire, an off-season story blown out of proportion by social media sleuths and overzealous insiders. However, where there's smoke in the NFL, there's often at least a flicker of something real. The fact that so many different sources are aligning on similar details is what's keeping this rumor alive and well in the hearts and minds of fans everywhere. Interestingly, some insiders are even suggesting that this entire situation could be a strategic play by Mahomes' camp to leverage a better deal with the Chiefs. By allowing the Browns' interest to leak into the public sphere, Mahomes could be subtly putting pressure on Kansas City to accelerate contract restructuring or commit to building a more competitive roster around him. This type of negotiation tactic isn't new. Superstar athletes have used potential interest from other teams to gain leverage in their current situations for years. But with Mahomes, everything feels magnified because of his status as the premier quarterback in the league. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the drama couldn't be juicier. Of course, there are also those who completely dismiss the rumor as pure fantasy. Some pundits argue that Mahomes is too loyal to the Chiefs, too embedded in their system, and too focused on building a dynasty in Kansas City to ever seriously consider leaving. They point to his strong relationship with head coach Andy Reid and his deep ties to the community. After all, Mahomes has become synonymous with the city itself. But then again, professional sports is a business first and foremost, and we've all seen legends like Tom Brady and Peyton Manning switch teams late in their careers. Could Mahomes be following a similar path, but much earlier than anyone expected? That's the question haunting Chiefs fans today. At the end of the day, whether this rumor has any real substance or is just an elaborate off-season fantasy, it serves as a powerful reminder of how quickly things can change in the NFL. The idea of Mahomes meeting secretly with the Browns, of a $300 million offer floating in the air, and of the potential fallout from such a move, it all makes for one of the most thrilling storylines we've seen in years. And even if it turns out to be nothing more than a sensational rumor, it's the kind of drama that keeps us all glued to our screens, eagerly refreshing our feeds for the next big update. Stay tuned, folks. This story is far from over. Thanks for riding with us on another Browns Blitz. If you liked the video, share it with a fellow fan, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you're always part of the Dawg Pound conversation. Go Browns!